This week on Amazingly Terrible, we are watching Legend of Prince Valiant, Episode 36, Crossbow. You're listening to Amazingly Terrible, the podcast that asks, is your thruple strong enough to withstand a member getting shot in the arm by prepubescent klutz with a crossbow? My name's Adam.
The answer is yes. Oh, and I'm Matt.
That's good.
I'm Mike.
I'm David.
And I get to talk about this one today, folks. This is Derek. Let's dive right in.
Right. Let's dive into that Valiant.
I like that confidence.
Yeah. Did everybody take their Valiant?
No opener. No Marin.
No Marin.
Straight to it.
No,
we're just
right
slapping
in, no
this
foreplay,
piece
right
of
into
meat
the
right
Legend
on the
of Prince
grill.
Valiant.
Yeah, we're going in raw,
Yeah,
like Prince
which-
Valiant does.
Which I totally watched this like a fucking month ago, so this may be a bit rough, but whatever. We're gonna wing it. We're gonna go.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
Do you have some history you have some background?
Yeah.
Yes, tell us the lore.
Teach us
So,
about Prince Valiant.
actually about the cartoon, no, but I'm going to go a little bit different on this one. I remember Prince Valiant being a daily comic in the back of the entertainment section in the Providence Journal, which is kind of my basic introduction to comics as a kid. And I would look forward. My personal favorite was Spider-Man. Yes, I know Adam keeps putting Spider-Man on the fucking goddamn review spreadsheet every time we talk about it. He votes new shit on. And I do adore Spider-Man, just not in that quantity. And I remember reading Prince Valiant every day and being like, this is boring as fuck. Like, there was nothing entertaining to, 8-year-old Derek about Prince Valiant.
Was this like a 3-panel strip, like a daily strip?
Yep, it was a 3-panel
yeah,
strip.
that probably
and
did suck.
Yep, and then on Sundays you had the full. If you bought the Calvin and Hobbes anthology, you know what I'm saying, like the full big strips or whatever. And
I remember this now.
I don't
Yes.
remember it ever having any sort of action or adventure. It was like a soap opera, for lack of better terms. It was just like adults talking about stupid shit. And so I never watched the cartoon. I was unaware that this cartoon existed until when we actually started this podcast and we started looking into stuff, which is why I got really excited about this specific episode. So this specific episode was I believe the first time in a cartoon that it showed two things. One was gun violence against an actual person and not like a cartoon villain or whatever.
Well, Crossbow.
Well, okay, it was, but the whole point was
But it's very clearly supposed to be a gun.
Yes, this episode is about gun violence.
You could call it a firearm because it still is a fired arm.
But the big thing with this is, so it was a gun violence themed episode, but it was also one of the first times, if not the first time, it showed blood after an impact, and then it showed negative consequences of it, because all the other gun violence, G.I. Joe, Mask, what are some of the other ones where they just had like lasers and all? I mean, G.I. Joe is the biggest one that comes to mind, right? It's like soldiers, and they have these guns, and they're like, it's two armies of fucking stormtroopers just shooting everything but each other for 26 minutes. And so this was a big deal.
Yeah. And then later in the season, they did it on a very special Prince Valiant. We bludgeon Prince Valiant to death on a tile floor.
Yeah, they draw and quarter him and then rip his dick off. Like that was a whole other episode that like it really, really pissed off the church moms. In the 80s.
Weird arc,
But anyways, I wanted to review this because I wanted to see how they addressed like how did they do this? How did they essentially take this cartoon that I just remember being so boring and just dry and stupid, and then address this serious topic and essentially turn it into an after-school special. And so I fired this up for the first time, I don't know, a month ago when we were originally going to do this, and then I got super duper sick, and then there was all kinds of stuff going on where we didn't talk for whatever. And about 5 seconds into the intro fucking montage, I was hooked. Like, what the hell? How in the world did I miss this? It is nothing but like, it's a power ballad with scenes straight out of freaking Prince Arthur. I mean, there's Merlin is in it, and then Prince Valiant is one of the Knights of the Round Table, and it's like full blown fucking D&D. and it's just, I mean, it is cocaine and Ferraris and 80s to the excess. It's awesome, at least for the first minute and a half of opening montage.
Yeah, this is sort of the Knights of the Round Table, the next generation.
Yeah.
Because, like, King Arthur has grown a beard, and he's not really leaving the castle anymore.
Yeah, it's like Young Guns. But if Young Guns were at the round table.
Okay, all right. First of all, you are fucking wrong about the comic strip. It was beautiful and groundbreaking when it was first drawn in 1937.
Was it really around since 37?
Oh yeah. This is a foundational. This is a foundational comic strip.
Wow.
The Big Sunday pages, which are great, those are the original comic strip. Whatever that like 3-panel daily strip was some knockoff because I think it's owned by King Features Syndicate.
Yeah, that's what I just remember as a kid. Like reading all of them through, and then you got to like Family Matters and Prince Valiant, and you're just like, oh, this is the fucking bottom of the barrel. Can it be tomorrow already? But anyways, yeah, Power Ballad. It starts out with a vortex, and then somebody in like Paladin tournament armor charging towards you. That's how this show opens, and it's Alan Oppenheimer as Merlin. I don't even know who Alan Oppenheimer is, but good lord, his hair is amazing.
You know,
the artist of that. Tim Curry's in the show. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It opened, and the music is definitely 100% Peter Gabriel knockoff.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're singing Sledgehammer. About what's her face with the crossbow.
It's synthy as hell.
Would you want it to be anything else?
Synthy with a very strong piano chord background.
Yeah, dude. Could you imagine actual like, how do you pronounce it? Like lyres and flutes? Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Oh yeah.
Give me a fucking Casio 5000X.
You don't want a minstrel regaling you with the epic.
No,
give me an 808 and a huge synthesizer. Like, give me John Tesh on that thing.
That's what she said. Second of all.
Oh God.
You got some explaining to do.
Yes, you do.
You made us watch this.
Oh, we're going there?
Yeah. Yes.
God.
Like the intro.
I wouldn't go that.
I feel like the only thing that really saved this entire
it's awful.
episode was the intro. That was it. Like as soon as I saw the intro after David posted it late, I was like, okay, I'm on board now. All right.
Yeah.
This is every after school special in the 80s. Like, the writing is bad, the voice acting is bad, it's all terrible. The plot is a fucking hot mess. It's just trash.
It was incredible. It's a feat of writing in a way because you watch the episode and you're like, every single character is a punk ass bitch.
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
yeah, exactly.
Every single one of these little fuckers I want to drag into a hole and beat to death.
Yeah, none of them are awesome.
None of them.
Every single one of them fucks up. Like, there's no point at which essentially the mishap model is stopped. Like,
and they're all such little whiny little shits.
Oh yeah.
Oh. And they stage whisper to each other.
Oh yeah.
I'm stage whispering. I'm so breathy.
It starts out, and one of the first lines is something like, I was born a peasant, and I love green and growing things. It's like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah. The kid's like, I feel that way when I touch this rabbit.
He ain't talking about a rabbit.
Yeah.
Petting the fucking rabbit.
So the show starts out with the young boy, and I don't remember his name, and he is talking to his...
Dennis.
Is it his brother, Arn? Or
Dennis?
No,
he's just some kid.
Just random dude, right? So he's talking to this guy named Arn.
Okay, so it's hard to understand this, but Arn's one of our main characters.
Yes. From what I understand, from what I gathered from my research, is that Arn, Prince Valiant, and
Rowan,
Rowan, Arn, and Prince Valiant are the three main characters that came from a small village together. And basically, Prince Valiant always wanted to be a Knight of the Round Table, and Arn and Rowan basically tagged along with him through their travels to get to Camelot for him to then become a Knight of the Green Gables or whatever.
Young Guns too.
Yeah, exactly.
So neither Arn nor Rowan, they're original for the cartoon. Neither of those were in the comic strip.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are brand spanking new creations, and man, do they sing! Just glorious.
They're just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, never seen a better throuple. Really.
They're the most milquetoast bitches.
That's right.
Yeah.
The three of them combined make almost a single person, almost.
If
no.
Breathy Wispers count as a personality.
The kids, I'm pretty sure, were just sort of like picked up along the way, or they're kids from the village.
One of them is a kid from the village. One of them is a squire in the castle.
Wesley's from the village.
Yeah, Wesley's, I believe, is from the village.
And Dennis is
Dennis
is a squire in the court.
Yeah.
So it starts out with Dennis and Arn are in the tower. Dennis is talking about random shit like sculptures and petting rabbits and stuff. And then Prince Valiant comes in and he has a crossbow. Arn makes a remark to Prince Valiant that, hey, you're still trying to best Rowan with that crossbow. And Prince Valiant kind of sloughs him off with a remark, and then off they go. And then in the next scene...
I just want to say, this scene alone, the sheer amount of mullet and forelock in this room, it must have been so hard to take, for the actors, to be in that room with all of this mullet, all this mullet energy.
So we find our characters in kind of the pivotal scene of this show. They're in the woods, and you have Dennis and the other little boy from the village,
Wesley.
They are practicing with wooden swords. I don't know if they're really practicing or if they're just playing with wooden swords. But then you have Valiant and Rowan are testing out these crossbows against each other, and Rowan is very clearly the much better shot than Prince Valiant. And there's a whole lot of breathy exchange between the two of them. And after a couple of
you get the feeling
shooting,
they're not talking about archery, if you know what I mean.
No,
except they are.
Yeah, it's a really weird way to present it. And then, essentially, what happens after a little bit is a runaway horse just comes charging down the path, and that sets the events of the episode in motion. And so, step one, Prince Valiant goes, hey, that's one of King Arthur's horses. We've got to go chase it down. And Rowan's like, okay, let's go. And and Valiant just chucks his crossbow to the side, and then off they go. Like, doesn't take it with him, just throws it. And then, boom, off they go after this horse. Rowan keeps her crossbow. They provide chase. And then Dennis and Wesley, in going to see what the commotion is, go over and they find this crossbow on the ground. And Wesley tells Dennis, hey, this would be much more fun if we shot this crossbow against the tree. Dennis was like, no, I don't want to do it. And Wesley was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And so they start shooting the crossbow against the tree.
And Wesley's a real bitch.
Oh, he's a slime ball little fucker.
He's such a little creep.
Oh, yeah.
So finally, when it's Dennis's turn, Dennis is aiming at the tree. And just like his buddy, Prince Valiant, he can't shoot for shit. And just as he loosens the bolt, Arn steps behind the tree and just takes it right to the fucking bicep.
They don't even really explain where he comes from. They just show him getting fucking smacked.
I mean, there was a little bit of preamble before that where Prince Valiant and Rowan were like, hey, Arn, are you going to come watch us at our contest? And Rowan was like, yeah, I'll come watch me beat Prince Valiant's ass. And Arn was like, I still got shit to do around the house. I'll come a little bit later when I finish up with my potpourri or whatever the fuck he was doing. And so that's like the only real preamble you get for why Arn was
there was no
there.
explanation whatsoever why Arn was there. He just steps out from behind a tree and then just takes a fucking bolt right in his left bicep.
Yeah.
And
which takes him down immediately.
Yeah, he doesn't look at these kids like, hey, you just shot me in the fucking arm. Let's go and, like, patch it up. He's dead. He just fucking took a Hellfire missile right to the dick. He's done.
I kind of appreciated that a little bit in that That's the way I would react to getting hit with an arrow.
You just die.
I just like, fuck it. It's
You
over.
wouldn't be like, ow, you shot me with an arrow.
No.
What were you doing?
I would be like, this is the
Fucking
greatest thing that's ever
straight
happened
dead.
to me. Finally, sweet death. Boom.
You got
fucking
shot in the
game over.
hand. Why are you dying?
Or more likely, you look at your bicep and you'd be like, this is the Middle Ages. You just put dirty clothing into my body.
right. Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
die of gangrene in 3 days.
Yeah.
Bacteria, 100%.
He was.
Bacteria sucks.
Yeah. He's just laying there thinking, finally, I'm out from under that fucking student loan.
Oh God, this fucking thruple I got conned into. I'm done.
No longer
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to make the meals.
I got syphilis in both ends.
Oh yeah. So Dennis runs away, and he's running through the woods. And at one point, he trips over a rock and actually gets more fucked up than Arn is.
Yeah.
From like his knee looks like he took a grenade to it. His hand looks like flayed, and then he just dunks it in dirty ass water, and he's fine evidently. But then Rowan, in the very next scene, I mean seriously, it's like a fucking swipe transition, and then she walks across and she finds Arn on the ground with this crossbow bolt in his arm, and they take him back to the tower where he is attended to by Merlin.
Is it a tower? Because it seems to be they're in a fucking cave.
Yeah.
Like,
it does
yeah.
seem like
I
they're
have
okay.
no idea. They're in
And
a stone room with a wood bed in the middle of it that Merlin happens to be at. Also, Merlin has a sword. Not sure why, but he does.
Well, he needed to cut him out of his shirt without removing the arrow.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's why Merlin
it's
has
a
a
surgical
sword.
sword.
Like he doesn't have a knife. He's got a fucking long sword.
Well, my favorite part was the reason why Rowan went to go find him in the first place was because Rowan and Valiant were like, we're hungry. We're
Who's gonna
starving
make
with
us
our
lunch?
food.
Yeah.
Who's going to make us food? And Valiant's like, oh, Rowan, I guess Arn's not here, so you got to cook. She was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get Arn, get his bitch ass back here.
Get
him in the kitchen.
In this throuple, Prince Valiant wears one leg, and Rowan wears the other leg of the pants.
Evidently. So when they're there, Merlin just yanks this crossbow bolt out of his arm.
Yep.
There's
Yoink.
no anything. He just kind of puts his foot on it and then just bam, pops that bitch out.
Yeah.
Arn wakes up for a quick second and immediately passes back out again.
Well, he has to, for plot reasons, he can't be awake.
Right. No, like I think they animated him awake and then we're just like, oh shit.
Oh, no, he's going to give it all away. Quick,
Yeah.
give him the sleeping pill.
So he passes back out, and then Rowan smashes the crossbow, and then there's a giant yell fest about, like, Arn's going to fucking die. And
Oh, this
instead
is-
of being like, hey, why did he get shot? No, it's like like Hurricane Katrina. Like, instead of fixing the problem, let's figure out who we're going to blame for the problem. That's really what we did here.
I don't know. You are supposed to lock up your guns.
I mean, you're not supposed to throw your gun away when chasing a runaway lawnmower. Yes,
That's
that's
true.
a
Yeah.
fucking fantastic tactic.
Also, why didn't you go even further and be like, whose fucking horse was that? Who let their fucking horse out?
Oh,
Right?
That's the real problem.
Who's in the grassy knoll?
Exactly.
No, they just went looking for the horse.
I bet you what wound up happening is Arn released the horse, trying to get them away from Dennis and Wesley for whatever nefarious reasons you want to put there. And then he got shot. So it's really
Ooh.
Arn's fault.
Oh, yeah.
That opening montage was oddly romantic.
Yes.
It was with Arn and Dennis walking around
And petting rabbits, and yeah.
This whole
Yeah,
thing
Mary
is
Rabbits.
creepy.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
about this is creepy.
Well, so the very next scene, after we talked about the fucking horse, is Dennis in the woods, and then I think it's Arthur shows up, and he's like, hey, we're looking for the horse. And they just puts him on his horse, and then off they go, and they look for the horse. Like, so
Yeah,
clearly the
again,
horse, which I'm
fucking
pretty sure they
creepy.
brought the horse back to the castle
yeah.
in the scene, but they're still looking for the fucking horse. Meanwhile, Arn's bleeding out.
So is Dennis.
Every character
Yeah.
character in this show wants to fuck the other characters, but with a limp dick.
It's just
Like they
just
don't
fucking
want
wet
to be hard.
spaghetti noodles.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
slapping the shit out of everything.
They just want to wipe their penis on each other.
Nice. But yeah, the fact that King Arthur picks up Dennis after the horse has already been caught and brought back to the stables. And also, I do like Dennis's reactions through like everything up until the conclusion.
Dennis really plays he plays the victim in this hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, child finding firearm, accidental discharge, whatever. I get it, but we're getting to my favorite part.
Yeah.
So Arthur and Dennis show back up. Everybody's happy to see Dennis because they don't realize that Dennis is the person that shot Arm in the face. Or I guess in the arm, sorry.
Arn in the arm.
Yeah.
Arn in the arm.
And so they patch him up with Merlin. Valiant,
I think
Rowan,
they do. This is actually one of the things I actually liked about this episode, because Rowan, the way he's acting, Rowan and Prince Valiant are like immediately figure out what's happening. I think they are very suspicious right away of Dennis.
Yeah, because they know Dennis really well. They recognize his behavior.
He's a little shit.
No, that he's just behaving abnormally. So.
He's saying everything's okay, and they're like, he's got something.
He's
they go
crying and hanging on them.
Yeah, he's crying and hanging on them, and they're like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Nothing."
Well, and then Arn at some point in time does like come to and looks at Dennis. And Dennis like backs away slowly, like, "No, he recognizes me."
That's later.
He has to have like his heart to heart with King Arthur after his like weeks of PTSD. So
he has to spend a long time just cleaning armor.
Yeah,
sweeping the floor. Like
just
we've got like almost half the episode of him fucking moping around.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. He does like squire bitch ass duties for like the next 8 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
And then when does he come clean?
He doesn't. That's the whole fucking thing. Is he doesn't actually explicitly say, "I did this." Everybody just is like, "Oh, we assume you did it."
Well, they all know, but he does say it, but he says it to Arn.
While Arn is unconscious, right?
Yeah, he says it to Arn. Yeah, and he like there's no discussion of any sort of punishment or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just King Arthur giving him like the talking to of like, "This is what I expect from knights. This is what a knight needs to do." And that's when he's like, Dennis is in his head is like, yeah, Knight is supposed to go do that. So I'm going to go beat the shit out of Wesley until he confesses. Let's go.
I actually wish trauma worked this way. I would give myself PSD to get a lot of housework done, you know?
It's just
fucking... Yeah.
Oh, God, I got to clean. I got to polish armor.
This apartment looks like shit. Well, I guess I'll go shoot somebody.
And then just fucking almost die of regret.
Yeah, I fucking go into a fugue state so I can clean this apartment.
That's right. So he does a bunch of cleaning. He has the one point where he prays, and then he has the visions where he's calling to Arn to not die. This is your after-school special moment. For the
At some point in time,
this.
he confesses his love to Arn too when Arn is unconscious. He's like, "I love you, Arn. Don't die."
That's when he says that he shot him.
Yeah,
he committed
Arnicide.
Yeah,
Arn assault.
I hate you people.
I also like how he's just Arn is evident. Everybody thinks he's dying the whole fucking time. They're like, he's slipping away.
Well,
he's
Merlin, Merlin the whole time he's like, "Oh, he's so fucked. Your friend's fucked."
I was just gonna say Merlin wasn't helping that at all.
Such a bastard move.
Yeah.
Merlin's over there making fucking pesto or whatever the hell he's doing. That's mortar and pestle.
Fucking grinding some basil and shit.
No, I just love
I'm
that
making
idea.
poultices, and by that I mean I'm making dinner.
Yeah,
Merlin is like the Scotty of Star Trek, where he's like, "Ooh, I got to keep their expectations really, really low, so I got to really undercut my abilities here."
Yeah.
So when he does survive, I'll be the hero.
I don't understand why keeping him in the damn cave if it isn't helping his infection.
Yeah. Oh, where better bleed him again. At any rate, this goes on for quite a while until we get the conversation with King Arthur.
Yeah.
The one where Valiant's behind the tree.
Yeah, unless you want to go into more detail about the worst part of this episode.
It's all back to school special is what it is. Like that's the whole like we're going to show the children all the remorse and regret about playing with guns. And anyways, yeah, then they get to the point where King Arthur is talking to Dennis, and he is talking about morality and standards and what he expects of knights and all this other stuff. And then Prince Valiant is like hiding behind a tree the whole time, listening to it.
Yeah, the way a knight would, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Like, hey, morality, upstanding, like facing your whatever, and then here's your fucking knight hanging behind a tree. So once he does that, that motivates Dennis to like solve the problem, and instead of coming clean and being like, I shot Arn, he goes and he runs down friggin' the dude from that he was there with.
Yeah,
Wesley.
he fucking beats the shit out of Wesley.
He a citizen arrests his ass. Like,
Yeah.
He puts him on the ground, knee in the back, and then arm behind his back. And Wesley's like, I'm not gonna fucking tell you shit, dude.
Yeah, no, Wesley's like, get the fuck off me, or I'm gonna go get my dad's crossbow and shoot you. And that's when Prince Valiant comes out and is like, do you really know what it means to shoot somebody? And in this moment, I wanted Prince Valiant to be like, so you're the one that shot him, and then like falsely accuse Wesley, throw him in irons, and just have like Dennis like grinning in the background, getting away with all of it.
Yeah. Being like slightly conflicted, but like there's a little bead of sweat on his forehead, but also like a half grin.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel terrible.
So the next scene is actually when he confesses his love for Arn. Where he's like, I love you, don't die.
Yeah.
And then Arn is like, I
shot you.
promise I will never die.
Yeah. Well, I think in that scene he's like, Arn, you were unconscious when I said it before, but I love you. You know that, right? And Arn's like, shut up, baby. I know it.
Yeah. So at that point, Arn like miraculously recovers.
Apropos of nothing.
Yeah. Well, Merlin mixed the extra strong cocaine.
Yeah.
The line is, Arn's not dead. And then Valiant walks in and goes, no, he's not. He's very much alive. And you're just like, what the fuck? And then they're in like Hogwarts, and then Merlin's like, oh yeah, I totally know you're gonna live the entire time. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at Merlin like, dude, you said this guy was about to be a zombie.
They're like, what are you talking about, Merlin?
5 or 6 times over the
He said
past
he was
3 or 4
gonna
days.
die. And there aren't even pine nuts in this pesto. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He got better as soon as we got him out of that fucking cave you were in.
Use the pre-grated Parmesan. What the fuck, dude? Sitting there fucking just mortar and pestling a new batch of friggin' pesto.
I thought he was making mixed drinks. He's over there making a gin and tonic.
All right.
Highball.
Then Dennis tells him he loves him one more time. Cue fucking credits. Over. That was it. That is how we taught our school-age children in the 80s not to do things like
Not
marijuana.
to murder each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Play with guns. It reached 7 total people because this cartoon is not popular whatsoever.
It was on the Family Channel.
Nobody gave a fuck.
It was on the Family Channel, which was at the time making a play to become like more of a not just reruns channel. And they had some
like
sitcoms. Yeah, they had some sitcoms in this, and it went and it was not successful.
No, yeah.
I wonder why. This was not the infamous Saved by the Bell caffeine pills episode.
Or the gargoyles actually shooting somebody episode.
Yeah. Did the person die in the gargoyles episode?
I don't know if she did or not. I think that she did survive, but they did show her like with a limp afterwards, I think. So, I don't recall. She was in the hospital. There was blood. It was supposed to be a big controversy thing, much like this one.
Getting
I think
a limp.
really what it was is I think that Gargoyles episode did the exact same thing that this episode did. It's just that more people watched Gargoyles, so everybody thinks that Gargoyles did it first.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good hypothesis.
Yeah, they're like, hey kids, you know what sucks? Murder.
Getting shot.
In
Don't
the
get
arm.
shot.
Yeah, murdering people sucks. The end.
So that's it. That's evidently what we did in the 80s.
Yeah.
From
What I want to
cartoon-
see is like the later episodes where they're like, but it gets easier.
So him like recovering after the PTSD. Like every time he sees a crossbow, he flinches.
Yeah, and he works up until he can kill again.
No, I do like the points that I got from this were don't play with guns. If you do play with guns, make sure there's nobody downrange from you when you shoot. If you do wind up shooting somebody, just throw away the gun
and run away.
Run away.
Yeah, don't get help.
Don't get help. When somebody finds you, confess to nothing, and then eventually beat up your co-conspirators, and then you're fine.
Yeah, and then put all the blame on them.
I mean, it's very clear that every problem can be solved with violence.
Exactly. In fire.
Yeah.
They didn't get into the fire bit here.
Just like real life.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, eventually.
All right, so I'm really sorry for making you guys watch this. I thought it was going to be awesome, and like I said, 5 seconds into that intro, I was hooked.
Yeah.
The intro, yeah.
Then about 3.5 minutes into this episode, I was like,
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny?
fuck
We
did I
learned
do?
about guns, but you learned about addiction. 'Cause you got hooked. You got that initial high, and then you just had years of recovery.
And by years of recovery, you mean like 20 minutes? And
30 minutes
change?
of a grueling episode of cartoons.
Yeah.
Just me being like, I don't want to fucking do this. How fast can we do this episode?
How can I hate every character? How is that
Oh,
possible?
God. Nobody was
Even
interesting.
King Arthur. Even
Nobody
King
was
Arthur
like,
sucks.
Yes. Even
Yeah.
King Arthur. Yes. There's no redeeming character in all of this series at all. I think the only character that I found any type of redemption for was Wesley. Because he knew who he was. And you knew who he was right from the beginning.
Yeah, he knows he's a shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's
a
like,
piece
hey,
of
I want
garbage.
to fuck around with this gun.
Yeah.
Let's fuck around with this gun. Oh shit, you shot somebody. Run.
yeah, not
Yeah.
my fucking fault, bitch. I'm
And
out.
he loses the sword fight to Dennis. He's like, you might have won this round, but next time I'm going to beat your ass.
And then we're gonna shoot your buddy. Fuck you.
Next time I'm gonna have a pocket full of pocket sand. Then you'll be going down.
Yeah. I mean, even that horse that runs away is a bitch. Everything,
The rabbit was kind
everything
of
is
cool.
hateable. What's that?
The rabbit was kind of cool. He seemed fluffy. That's what he was supposed to do.
You know what the real clincher, the thing that just gets me with this episode, though, that just, is it the cherry or the icing? It's an iced cherry, is when he comes in, when Dennis comes in after Arn has recovered, and he's made him the shittiest little home ec project. Where he's like, I made you this, and it's just a log.
I made you this herb garden.
Yeah.
You can grow 2 types of herbs
You
in
can
it.
grow too.
It's a log with 2 holes drilled in it.
Fucking shitty little, and he's like, "Oh, this is so special. I'm gonna put it right up on the fridge." It's that to me.
Well, he didn't want to get shot again.
This is so special. You know what? I'm gonna put this right here, next to the mantle, next to the fireplace.
Near the
No, don't
log.
worry. No, nobody's gonna mistake it for firewood. You're fine. It'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grow peyote on this side and hemp on the other.
Yeah. So we agree this sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I do like the fact though that I did have a very similar reaction that you had, Derek, where it was 5 seconds into the intro, it's like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna go great. And then 3 minutes into the actual series, I'm like, okay, so what is their relationship to this prepubescent boy, and what is their relationship to each other? Who?
Yeah.
Why? Everybody's just fucking, aren't they?
And why do they all have their limp dicks out and they're rubbing them on each
They're
other?
just wiping on each other's faces. It's weird.
I don't know what else to say about this other than I was severely fucking disappointed.
Well,
we were
you didn't-
disappointed in you.
You didn't watch this when you were a kid, right? You read the comics.
No, I wanted to watch it because I knew kind of culturally what it was, and I wanted to see how the cartoon stacked up against the comic strip that I remember running periodically in the newspaper.
I can just see little Derek. He's like, you know what I'd really like? Today I'd really like to learn a valuable lesson.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Well,
No.
Matt, did you watch this cartoon? I know you remember the comic, but did you watch this cartoon?
I didn't even know the cartoon existed, but I have to
Okay.
say, I am 100% certain that 11 to 12-year-old Matt would have
all about it.
loved it. Oh, I would have drunk it in.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
especially
could
because
see that.
I would have been all about the melodrama, and
And the animation style is probably
it is quite a good-looking cartoon. It's not well animated, but it's very well painted and drawn.
it all looks
Yeah.
like hand drawn, like very.
They probably
like
used
the-
yeah, they used filthy fucking cells, Mike.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Well, Mike, did you see this cartoon when you were a kid?
I probably had the same reaction to adult Derek, where I would have gotten past the opening and then been like, "Psh, "This looks like one of those preachy like lesson shows," and turned it off. Because I hated the I have this moment, this flashback moment when Derek was talking about the comics, and I'm like, I remember seeing that in the Sunday comics, and I'm like, what a waste of space.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I think I was similar.
The
Oh, yeah.
the original ones are gorgeous. They're so beautifully drawn. Like
No,
I'm
Yeah.
sure I'd appreciate it now, for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, like when I was a kid, I remember seeing those comic strips and be like, "That looks good, but that's not for me because they're talking about some grown-up shit, and I
Right.
want to see what Garfield's getting up to."
right.
Exactly.
It was not
So-
accessible. It's
No.
the storytelling was from like a completely different era, and they never
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's like 4,000 comic strips or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean it's run from
This is
since
1937.
1937,
Yeah.
and
that's
because it's
impressive.
owned by King Features, they just continued it. You know.
David, did you see the cartoon?
I don't think I had even heard of it before.
Oh, really? No.
Nah. But I thought the music was pretty good, although it never
Yeah.
really quite seemed to fit the scenes. So they were like,
yeah.
I think they were definitely pulling from a library.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Except maybe when Dennis was chasing Wesley and they started up that Lord of the Flies chase music.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, yeah, I think that if I saw this cartoon, if 11-year-old Adam saw this cartoon, I'm pretty sure that he would be pissed first and then get bored and leave it. Because
Yeah.
I read Crystal Cave when I was very young, and I had a specific idea of what King Arthur was in my mind in that whole storyline. And this probably would not have fit in with that, and I wouldn't have appreciated it, and I would have just been like, fuck off.
Interesting. Because I remember, I think I read Morte Arthur at some point when I was a kid. I don't remember when.
Yeah.
So I always thought of like the real money shot of King Arthur is the later period when he's like formed Camelot and the knights are going out and having adventures, and it's really about Sir Gawain and Sir Lancelot and Lancelot boning down with his wife and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That thruppling. Lancelot
Yeah.
and Guinevere and Arthur. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
good times.
the real historical thruppling.
Exactly. Okay, so
Matt-
keeping this thing or what? What's going
Well,
on?
this
Fuck
begs the
no.
question. This
Yeah.
hold on a second. So how as a percentage of your day, how often do you think about
right.
famous historical people having sex with each other?
With each other or with me?
It could include you. I think that would increase the percentage a lot, but I'll allow it.
I'd say it's a weekly thing. It's not an everyday for me.
Is this like the same amount of time as guys think about the Roman Empire or whatever they were talking about on Twitter?
I was okay. I'm listening to a podcast about the history of Byzantium, which is the Roman Empire.
Yes.
So every day I think about the Roman Empire.
And who you would fuck in the Roman Empire.
Yeah, yes,
there were
not
some
not the emperor.
amazing people back then.
People. Yes.
Yes.
People. With amazing.
Covered in olive oil.
Yes.
That's how they bathed.
Fine virgin olive oil.
Yeah, they were making themselves into pizza, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
don't.
you're going to be the
What
cheese
is-
on
what is it?
top.
Yeah, let me grind your basil, baby.
You need
now
some
I get
pine nuts in there.
Yeah. Not the red pepper.
Ah!
All right, I think we played this one out.
Yeah, it's
What's-
dead.
what's
it's,
next?
It's dead for us.
I like it. Well, I don't. Well, who cares what you don't like? I care.
So, who are we voting to keep it or leave it? Who votes so?
No, I don't want to keep this.
All right.
Especially if every episode is an after school special. Like there's a reason that we stopped doing after school specials. And this is it.
Mike, keep or delete.
Lame. No.
You don't want to keep it? All right.
No.
I'm voting to keep it. Matt, what do you want?
You know we deserve it. You know this is what we deserve.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm gonna pull a straight up Adam here, and be like, what if this is just the one bad episode?
Oh God.
What if I want to
Oh,
see?
God.
I want to see if the other episodes are good. And that's what you
Excellent.
sound like too.
I know. No, that's exactly what it sounds like. What have we watched in other episodes, dudes?
I hate how spot on that is, though.
What?
The logic.
Because he's done it multiple times.
Yeah.
I really don't think that things happen in other episodes either, so I'm also going to vote this off.
Thank you for saving me from myself.
Oh. I wanted to fast forward through another episode or two.
Okay, Derek. You had previously locked this episode, so I'm going to offer you a redemption refund.
An insurmountable pile of wonderful awfulness.
What?
Oh.
Can I just put Beavis and Butthead on the list?
Oh.
Oh, wait. Are you getting a redemption? I thought that this was...
This is sort of a refund because this episode was locked in for that series.
Yeah,
okay.
he spent a lock in on it and then picked
Yeah.
it for his.
I'll just
Gotcha,
pick
gotcha.
Beavis and Butthead's on the waiting list. Let's do it.
So, Beavis and Butthead going up to the top.
Although somebody spelt it Beveis. Beavis.
It's almost Bevis.
Bevis and Butthead.
Bevis.
Bevis. The
Bevis.
cousin we don't talk about.
Ah, Bevis.
Okay, Butthead. So I need an extra E in there. Done.
Nice.
All right, are we doing a next time on, or do we already have it locked in?
Oh, we already do have something locked in, don't we?
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
Okay, so in that case, let me just say this. On a future episode of Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching Son of the White Mare. But next time on Amazingly Terrible, we'll be watching Spawn, episode 16, Hunter's Moon.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I don't know. See, now I'm going to have to watch a bunch of Prince Valiant on my own time in order to determine if there's better episodes.
Every time we find a desert, you have to comb it. Every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Prince Valiant, episode 12, minute 3.
Oh,
They,
it was
they
so
have this
good.
one line, and that redeems the whole series.
Yeah, nope. I'm glad that I was overruled. This is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was terrible.
This is the way.
That is the way.
All right, gentle folk. For Amazingly
All right.
Terrible, I've been doing this podcast.
I, too, have been doing this podcast for Amazingly Terrible.
I'm just
My
going
name's
to do a
Adam.
normal exit and say I've been Mike.
I've been David.
And
I will see you guys next year. Right?
And I've
Oh.
been
Try to do some pause
Dis-
without me.
What's that?
Oh, seriously, we got to do some potting without you, buddy?
Yeah,
No.
try.
Oh, it's gonna be chaos.
Who will tell us what the next segment is?
Yeah, how do we do
And
this? I'm having a panic attack.
All right, well, I've been Disappointed Derek, and this has been Amazingly Terrible.
Amazingly Terrible is produced by David and Adam. Music by Josh Woodward. Send your email to monotonouslyterrific@amazinglyterrible.com.
A whisper in my ear, a voice so strong and clear. Upon this beach I see a million grains of sand.